think we can all agree an important lesson was learned in the last episode, and that important lesson was maybe don't try and mess with your formation when you're opening games of the season are against Liverpool and Arsenal, because ever since we've gone back to a back four, everything looking up. How are we doing, everybody, and welcome to part 3 of Club 4 here on MyCareer on FM23. I'm Stu. Thank you for watching today's video, where we're going to be going against Manchester City and Brentford at still relatively new club Chelsea. And if you're excited to see how we're going to get on in those games, I can't speak, I'm so excited. How we are going to get on in those games, then do not forget to leave a like on the video for me and subscribe so you don't miss any of the nonsense coming out of this face right here, like mixing up the words, because that's just what I do. Since you were last with us, yeah, back 5. The thing is, every time I've used the back 5 before, I've looked at the team and I thought that's the right decision. With this one, I thought I fancy using it. Note to self, only if it jumps out at you, because Stuart, you just don't have the capability to actually make it work unless the players are already here. So we did switch to a back 4. I think the system that we're using is the same one we used against Arsenal, but just in case it's not, this is what we've settled on. Back 4, 3 in the middle, and then a deep lying forward in the middle of 2 advanced forwards. And while the strikers haven't necessarily been prolific, it has worked for us. If we go to the homepage, you can see 3rd best in terms of goals scored. But here's the thing I really, really like. Best defence in the league. Oh, it feels so nice after the 3 seasons at Southampton where Hoyenhal just let us down time and time again. He was a good goalkeeper, don't get me wrong. But Dimitru, oh my word, this guy has made me realise just how much better he is than Hoyenhal. So far, he's played 11 times, he conceded 6, kept 7 clean sheets. I don't think he's top of the clean sheet charts, but he's certainly not far off of it. He's joint top, in fact, with Ramsdale and Karnasecchi. So that says everything right there. But yeah, since you were last with us, we've done really well. If we look at the schedule, let's have a quick look. As you can see, we had those 2 games. We haven't lost a game since then, actually. We drew against Wolves. That wasn't ideal. But then a win against Villa, nice and convincing. Not so convincing win against Northampton, followed by a win against Manchester United. Nice. Followed by the transfer window closing, and then a victory over former club Southampton. Sorry, lads. Followed by Fulham just managing to get a draw against us. We did struggle in that one, but then we battered Burnley. Did well against Sheffield United. Beat Man City, who we are playing in the EFL Cup next. And then drawing against Crystal Palace, which wasn't great. But then battering Leeds United. So we're not the finished article, but we're doing a good job. I mean, the wins against City and United, those are good results. I mean, the good result against Arsenal was a good result as well. In the Arsenal one, we were playing with the 2 wide deep line forwards. We have gone away from that system just because we've got so many players who want to be advanced forwards. It just didn't make sense to do it. News in terms of transfers, because there might be a few names there you do not recognise. So, I'm trying to think of what we did. So, I think Maximiano and Timber, were they both in by the Arsenal game? I think they were. Yes, they were. So you knew about them. Right. I know this is a weird one. Lewis Murray coming in. I will hold my hands up and say this is a weird one. He's on loan. He's always performed well for me. And he's a body to get in there. The stats are good in the positions that we need them to be good in. I'm not sorry about this one because he's already done a job for us. He's already played quite well in a couple of games, including scoring a goal for us in the League Cup. But I will accept it's a weird transfer. However, we did make 2 of the loan transfers that have worked out quite well so far. Well, I say that. Rodrigo Bentancur from Paris Saint-Germain. This one hasn't necessarily worked out as well so far, but we've brought him in as an extra midfield body. Played a couple of times. He's done okay for us. But the one I'm really surprised at is Philip van Eyden. We just needed another striker. He's a 30-year-old new gen of all things. And yes, he's not very good. He's 2.5 star. But he's a former Dutch international. I say former, he probably still is. I don't know. But he's already got a couple of goals and assists for us. He'll do a job for us this season. I mean, he's a big lad. He's pretty good in the air, so it gives us something different. Good finishing, but also really good passer of the ball. So actually, he will do a great job in there when Carl Ratcliffe isn't going to be playing. Carl Ratcliffe, by the way, hasn't had the best start to the season, but in the last game, I think he did score a hat-trick, so his stats look a bit better than they actually are. He's also got a new contract worth a lot of money per week for the potential that he has. Don't ask. I had a moment of madness, but he is a homegrown. He's not even a homegrown boy. I've had it in my head that Carl Ratcliffe's a homegrown boy. He's from Manchester United. I was convinced he was a homegrown Chelsea lad. So the main reason, oh god, the main reason I gave him a new contract was because I thought, registration-wise, he's a good player. He's a homegrown Chelsea lad, and I didn't realise he'd been signed for a lot of money from Manchester United. Okay, well, do you know what? He's still got talent, so it's fine. But yeah, those were the signings. That's the state of the squad at the moment. We did sign Journeyman Timber, as you know. He's been pretty good for us. And predominantly, he's actually been playing as a defensive midfielder, and he's done a good job there, actually. But Balarik has gone in there in the last couple of games because of an injury to Timber, which he's now recovered from. On that note, he's going to be on the bench. Benson Cook's going to be on the bench for Murray. I know I've just defended Murray, but it's Lewis Murray. So that's the squad. That's what we're working with. One thing I do want to make you aware of as well is Julian Alvarez is unhappy. We gave a really harsh team talk against Northampton because I thought 2-0 wasn't really good enough, quite frankly. He didn't agree. We tried to move him on. We had several offers in for him, and he turned them all down. We even included to give him a compensation payoff, get him to leave, and he still refused to move. So we've still got him. I'm okay with keeping him. I don't mind having him at the squad. He's still got some really decent stats, but it is what it is. You know, we'll do what we can. If he plays well, great. If not, we've got Hezek, who has scored since his return as well. Scored a couple of goals. Scored two, yeah, literally a couple of goals in the Carabao Cup. So I'm quite happy to have him here, and I think he will be overtaking Alvarez in no time. Van Eyden is here as a filler at the moment, so next season we will need at least one more striker. Possibly two if Pinamonti drops off, but Pinamonti so far has led the line superbly. Anyway, with that, let's get into the game against Manchester City, and this is the team. It is Dimitri in goal, James, Durica, Eric Garcia and Boa in defence, Balarik, Mount and Szoboszlai in the midfield with Ratcliffe, Skinner and Pinamonti up front. I know I should really, in the grand scheme of things, be starting Maximiano as our goalkeeper in a cup competition, but I think with Chelsea, I want to win stuff quicker and sooner rather than later. Let's go with our best goalkeeper because we know we've got a good one. I'm completely accepting of the fact at some point he will make a mistake, and I will forgive him if he does, because so far he's been excellent for us. But I'm accepting of the fact that at some point he will stuff up. You can tell I've used my laptop recently. I did remember to change camera settings, but with that you can tell that I've used my laptop recently. Right, Alberto with the free kick just grazes over the bar. Nothing doing there. The front line of Skinner, Ratcliffe and Pinamonti have taken a while to get going. They've not looked as fluid as I'd like them to. There have been some moments of, I'm not going to say excellence, but some nice moments where they look like they're getting going. Mount and Szoboszlai have become my preferred midfield too. I'll say that, and between them, they're giving the ball away, and Brennan Johnson's made it 1-0 for Man City. They've become my preferred midfield too. They have a more attacking midfield too out of all the options that we've got. Balarik was playing as one of the midfielders. In fact, I think he was playing in the position that Mason Mount is in at the moment. And Mount was playing where Szoboszlai is. And that was working for the team, but Balarik wasn't getting good ratings. And I want him to get good ratings because he's a young kid. I want him to develop because he's got a lot of potential. And yeah, it was just a bit disappointing. Now, speaking of disappointing, oh my God, Reece James has just given the ball away to Erling Haaland. Durica, remember, a centre-back who has come from Man City, might know a thing or two about Erling Haaland. He did well to kind of hold him up there. But Luis Alberto looking for a pile driver, didn't get there. Oh, it's a sloppy header from the defence and we go 2 down. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. The one thing I don't like about this team is our defence is very, very short. It's one of the reasons why Jury Timber is playing as a defensive midfielder. That's a great deflection there. Right, who is it? It's Eric Garcia. I don't like Eric Garcia. I don't know if you've ever known this about me, but I really don't like Eric Garcia. Right, I'm going to demand more from the boys because so far we've been shambolic. Durica and Garcia are not playing well at all. Mount's not having a good game either. We need to get going in this game. And it's just not happening so far. Right, Boa, looking for options. Tries to get to Pinamonti, doesn't work, but it comes to Eric Garcia now. Garcia looking to redeem himself, running forward with the ball. Goes to Boa. Boa, who has played pretty well since coming into the team. Mount now, looking for options. Goes for a worldie. And it's a huge mistake from Ederson. And Mason running at the ball. He's gone to celebrate in the corner. I mean, there's Man City fans in the corner. I don't know why he's gone to celebrate with them. The Chelsea fans are over here. But he needs to run and get the ball. But we have scored. And Mason Mount, the club captain, has put us back within 1 goal of Man City. We are being dominated by them. It is worth pointing out. We are not having it all our own way. Also, all of this stuff is completely wrong. I can't change it now. So, yeah, that's not going well. That's not going well at all, is it really? But then again, I was surprised we beat Manchester City. I do think they are a better team than we are at this point in time. I think we've got potential to get better. But, oh my God. Oh, Dimitri. Oh, I've been praising Dimitri. Oh, I've been praising him and he goes and does that. I'm having flashbacks to Hoy and Hull. Oh, I mean, this is not as bad as Hoy and Hull's mistake. Haaland's in, good deflection. Dimitri just doesn't cope with it, though. I mean, he sort of gets in the way of it, but he just, I mean, he phased through. I mean, Brennan Johnson's hitting it through a goalkeeper who has the ability to phase through solid objects and people. That's what we've just witnessed. The defence are having a shocking game. Oh, boy. Right. Szoboszlai, can he find the head of someone? Keeps going back to the far post. I don't think my settings on my set... Oh, my word, Pinamonti. I don't think my set piece settings have saved properly. I really don't think. There's going to be a change in the back four. Like, these three are all coming off at half-time. They have to. I mean, maybe not Reece James. He's starting to pick up a bit. Right. Can we get another one back just before we go to half-time? Right, Mount. Looking for that defence splitting pass. Ratcliffe does really well there, though. The former Mancunian. Say that. He's probably still from Manchester. Like, it's not like signing him to Chelsea has changed where he's from, so he's probably still a Mancunian. Oh, it's poor passing from... Is it Eric Garcia again? It is. Right, Eric Garcia's off. Eric Garcia is off. I mean, I'm berating him right now. I'm berating Jurica right now. They're the two I really want to shout at. And we are making changes. Right, terrible. Woeful defence. Right. Garcia, off. It's going to be Antonio Silva on. I mean, I want to take Derica off as well, but he's not... He's apparently had a worse game, and I refuse to believe that. But Garcia, I've just watched have a worse game. So, I think, looking at the players I've got available, it's one of the Timbers, Quentin, who we signs, or Jurien, who was already here. I think I might say Jurien Timbers was the guy we signed. It wasn't. It was Quentin Timbers. So, got to be one of these guys. I mean, they're both quite short. Both of them are 5'10". So, I don't know who I'd rather have, if I'm honest. I mean, Jurien's a better header of the ball. So, Jurien Timber, he's just had an injury, but he's going to come on the pitch, I think. Eureka. I'm going to give Reece James a chance. And hopefully he can spring to life. We need to get Ratcliffe into the game. We need to get the forwards into the game. So, I might throw it long to... I'll do its target forward and I'll bring Van Eyden on, but I can't because he's suspended for this game. I don't really want to distribute over the opposition defence. I'll tell you what, distribute it to the playmaker, and Szoboszlai can be a playmaker on support. But no, an advanced playmaker on support. We'll do that. We're going to get the ball to Szoboszlai where we can. That feels like the thing to do. Reece James is tiring now, so Ed Milson is going to come on. I've changed my mind on Reece James. We're going to do that. And we just need to tell some of these lads, you need to step it up. You really need to step it up. I'm hoping by bringing on... Well, by changing Szoboszlai to a playmaker and changing the distribution method, maybe we'll get forward a bit quicker because we're giving the ball to someone who's actively looking to try and get the ball into a dangerous position. Right, both to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai now looking for Pinamonti. This is much better. Pinamonti just runs a bit too far. But Mikolenko's made a mistake. Skinner, Ratcliffe, Mount with an absolute pile driver crashing against the crossbar again. Boa still on the ball, whipping it in, looking for Mason Mount. Mason Mount is just trying to do this all on his own at the moment. And I love to see it. Right, I need to change that because that's annoying me. Right, demand more. Come on, boys. We've stepped things up in the second half. We look like a much better team. We've had a lot more chances. Okay, not a lot of them have been on target, but we are trying here. Right, Mount looking for Pinamonti. Mason Mount has stepped up in this game as well. Right, Szoboszlai headed down to Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe is down in the box. It's a penalty, assuming it doesn't get overturned by VAR. It is a penalty to Chelsea. We have an opportunity here. But we have to score it if it gets given. Tom Bramall gives it. It is a penalty. And it's Dominic Szoboszlai. And he continues the resurgence. It's 3-2. And Carl Ratcliffe, who's not had a good game, guy who wins the penalty. Dominic Szoboszlai, the one who converts it. Standard penalty, Ederson goes the wrong way. Right, come on. Fire up, boys. We've got a chance here. Right, Balarik to Timber. Timber, out wide to Edmilson. Edmilson, looking for options. Coming on for Reece James, remember. The club vice-captain coming off. Mason Mount keeping the armband today. Right, Mount now. With a ball, looking for Pinamonti. The Wild manages to handle it, and Man City have the ball to try and break again. Out wide to Brennan Johnson, who has a hat-trick today. I'm sure he's got a hat-trick. I'm sure he scored all three. The Wild now, back to Bellingham. Jude Bellingham looking for a ball up to Erling Haaland. He has found Haaland. We've forced him wide. Out wide to Mikalenko. Mikalenko into Johnson. Deflected. Dimitru manages to hold on. Good work from Dimitru there. Very good work indeed. Right. What can he do in terms of distribution? Looking for Skinner, actually. I was going to say, I thought he might be looking for Szoboszlai. Find Skinner. Into Ratcliffe. Carl Ratcliffe has gone and scored. It's an equaliser. Wow. That was unexpected. Jarika's name is still over on the bench. I've highlighted him at some point and he's still there. But what a ball that was from the keeper. Out to Skinner and then Skinner into Ratcliffe. And that's the first real interaction I've seen between Skinner and Ratcliffe that looks nice. It's not really the way round I want it, but as long as it ends with a goal, I'm happy. And Ratcliffe wins a penalty and scores a goal. That is superb. I'm chuffed to bits at this comeback. Right, now what do we do? Because it's all going well, but Balarik isn't having the best of games. So I think we're going to bring on Quentin Timber. Not that good anymore, but we're going to bring him on. Then we've still got one change left. So let's just see whether we can either hold on or push on. I'd love us to push on for a winner. I'm happy with what we've got. But we have a throw-in. Boa now into Quentin Timber. Timber going all the way back to Antonio Silva, who I criticised him at Southampton. But I'll tell you what, he's done a job for us today. Ed Milson looking to whip it in. Can't find it. And Oscar Glock now. Back out wide to Mikalenko. Mikalenko looking to try and get forward. We're kind of putting pressure on them here. Skinner pressuring Salabra to going backwards again, but Luis Alberto has the space. Brennan Johnson loses the ball, and Szoboszlai now driving forward. He's got options ahead of him. Goes to Mason Mount. Mason Mount has gone and scored. And we lead for the first time today. And Dominic Szoboszlai is a huge part of it, but so is Mason Mount. Those two have been superb today. Ederson's had a shocker. It's been a tale of the defences. Our defence was woeful. Their goalkeeper's not been great. And we lead by 4-3. There's still plenty of time left in this game, though. But if you look at the momentum bar, which I'll show you again in a second, that tells a story. Right, Marlon Boa is tiring, but I don't want to take him off. I'd rather take off Pinamonti for Hisiek or Julian Alvarez. You know what? We're going to bring Alvarez on. Try and cheer Alvarez up. Let's bring him on for some football. But let's just have a look at this momentum bar on here. Look at this momentum bar. Man City have dominated in certain patches, but we have actually been on top for quite some time. Wow. This is not even a league game, by the way, but we've both put out very good teams. Can we hold on to our lead? There's moments left. Moments of the game left. And Man City have a goal kick. Ederson looking to get it to Brennan Johnson, who, remember, does have a hat-trick there. Szoboszlai with a heavy touch, though. Singo now going out wide. The right wing-back. Crossing it in. Looking surely for Haaland. Doesn't find him. And Edmilson now has the ball and has a chance to break. Remember, we've got two attacking wing-backs. Both of them are on attack. Big ball out. Looking for former Man City player Julian Alvarez. Alvarez into Carl Ratcliffe. And Carl Ratcliffe has sealed it at the death. 93rd minute of 94. And Carl Ratcliffe, who has had a shaky start to the season, has gone and made it 5-3. What a comeback that is. Lovely ball out to Alvarez. And Alvarez, who really is on the chopping block, does well to get it to Ratcliffe. And what a finish that is from Carl Ratcliffe. Bearing in mind his finishing is not that great. The whole reason why he's playing as a deep line forward. But has he finally clicked in that role? Has he finally clicked? Is having Szoboszlai in the team as a playmaker the thing that's helped him click? Maybe it is, I don't know. But we end the game, and I feel like after that first half, we've mugged them a bit there. I mean, look at this. 2 down, we get 1 back, they get 1. Half time, it's all looking horrible. And then we bang 4 goals out. Just because we can. What did I say about the firepower not being really that good in the forward line? I think they heard me. Oh, I think they heard me. Right, well, that was unexpected. Wow, okay, so that's a win, and that means that we are going to be through to the next round of the EFL Cup. Nice. So, I'm staggered at that. I'm genuinely staggered. We're coming back for Brentford, because why wouldn't we? Because it's the next game. So, yeah, sure. Brentford it is. I'm stunned. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Sure. Back and ready for the next game. It is, of course, against Brentford, as previously mentioned. And this is the 11 we're going to be using in this fixture. It's Dimitri in goal. It's James, Durica, Antonio Silva and Boa in defence. Balaric, Mount and Szoboszlai as an advanced playmaker like he was in the second half of the last game against Manchester City. Supporting Ratcliffe, Skinner and Pinamonti up front. Very similar team that we're putting out. The only change is Antonio Silva coming in along with Szoboszlai playing as the playmaker. So we're going to see whether that carries on into this game and hopefully does the job for us. I am actually also going to change this. We're going to have him throw it to playmaker, see whether that actually does anything, and hopefully it will. Hopefully it'll continue the ridiculousness that was that second half, because we won that second half 4-0. When you think of it like that, that was pretty good going. Now, whether we can do that against Brentford or not with the same kind of a tactic, I don't really know. We are away from home, so it will be a challenge, similar how that last game against Man City was. So it will be interesting to see what we can do. But what I haven't really talked about is the Premier League table. We're currently second in the league, which is kind of ridiculous since we've just taken over, with how mid-table Chelsea have been in like this save, in particular in recent seasons. We've seen it at Southampton, just how far Chelsea have fallen. Like the last couple of seasons in particular have been some of the worst for them. So it is interesting. Oh, Dominic Szoboszlai very close, but Pinamonti's there with the tap-in, and it is 1-0 early doors against Brentford. Nice. We have seen Chelsea's kind of slip into mid-table happen before our very eyes, so it is quite interesting to see just how capable this team, with a few additions, has been. Lovely passing here. Balari gets it along to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai with the worldy effort. And that's one thing we do a lot more than we didn't do at Southampton as often. We don't go for the long shots. Well, we didn't go for the long shots at Southampton as much. Whereas here, we do like a crack at them. Mason Mount likes it. Szoboszlai showed one there. I've seen Ratcliffe have a few attempts. Balaric has the ability to do it. We haven't seen him score one yet. But his long shots are 14. I expect him to be able to just nail one in the back of the net at some point. Mount's in here. It went for the worldie. And Alan Skinner is in there. And we do get another scrappy goal. But it still counts. They all count. And it is 2-0 in the 17th minute. It's a throw-in from Reece James. Gets it to Mason Mount. Mount back to James. James looking for options. Goes into Balaric. Balaric looking for options. Goes back to Mount. Mount drives in. Goes for the shot. Saved and hit against the post. And Skinner's there just to pick up the sloppy seconds. And I'm okay with him and Pinamonti getting their goals like that. That's kind of what I want them to do. I'm happy with them doing more fancy stuff as well, but if they're just doing that and getting the goals, I'm quite happy. I'm also quite happy with them getting behind like that. But Ratcliffe goes for the worldly there, and that's what I mean. He's not afraid to go for one. Just brushes the top of the net in there, but Skinner doing really well to get on the ball. Just couldn't quite get past his man, but it's okay. I'm not upset about it. Szoboszlai was actually on the chopping block at the end of the transfer window. I was willing to let him go. I'm kind of happy I've kept him, because actually out of all the players we've got, maybe him and Bentancur possibly, they're the only guys I see as being like credible playmakers in that midfield. That's not to say Mason Mount couldn't do it. He can, by the way. We might have scored a third. Pinamonti possibly with the goal. Let's just see whether it gets confirmed by Stuart Atwell or not. It does not. It is only 2-0. Yeah, I think if we were to go with a playmaker going forward, we would need another signing. I think we could get by this season with what we've currently got, because again, we could rotate both Mount and Szoboszlai as the advanced playmaker. But Mount seems to be doing a good job as the box-to-box man, which I'm quite happy with. So And it's nice, actually, to have someone who, I mean, it's one game so far, but he played very, very well last time out as an advanced playmaker and has looked all right today as well. So I'm not usually someone who gets on with an advanced playmaker, certainly not in a midfield three where the three includes a holding midfielder, not an attacking midfielder. So it is quite nice. And so Bosley, again, just spraying the ball up to Pinamonti. Pinamonti can't get the ball in the back of the net there, holds it up, goes back to Boa. Boa, looking for options, goes for the shot himself, and Pinamonti ends up with an assist instead of a goal. Saying that, did he get a goal? He's already got a goal, hasn't he? Well, he's got an assist and a goal now, but he nearly had a second earlier. But point being, he's gone and made a goal for the left-back, Boa, who we brought in at the beginning of the season. Nice. I mean, that shot was going wildly wide, so I'm quite happy that the Brentford player got in the way there. But Boa just comes in, hits it, and it gets deflected in, but it still counts. It was on target. That'll do. 3-0. I'm a very happy man with how this episode is going. The forwards are playing well. The midfielders doing pretty well for themselves. The defence haven't had a lot to do, if anything, so far. Touch wood, touch wood. So, as soon as I say that, they go and have a shot. But we're playing nicely. We're playing good. I mean, we should be playing well against Brentford, so this isn't that much of a surprise. But it's still nice to see it. I kind of did wonder whether the team might get a bit camera shy. I've still got that opening day defeat against Liverpool etched into my brain, so I know it's something that can go horribly, horribly wrong at any moment. But really, since we ditched the 5 at the back, it's looked good. And look, I did a rebuild with Liverpool using that 5 at the back, and I've actually played a little bit of that season myself offline. I also used it at Tranmere, and on both occasions, it did the job very, very well. Now, I will say, at Tranmere, we did change the system at some point back to a back 4. We went to a diamond in the end, so I will say it's not foolproof. I accept that. And I think there are better tactical people than I who could get the best out of it. I don't necessarily think I am the guy who can get that out, but if I've got the right players in front of me, I can make it work. And Boa is looking shattered, so I think we will give him a rest. We are in and around that time. He did score a goal today, so very happy with him. Boa comes off. I think we'll bring Julian Timber on. He can play as a left back. He will do a fine job, I'm sure. Mason Mount timing as well as Szoboszlai. This is where the problem comes, because who do we bring on instead of him? Because I want to bring both of them, if not one of them. Well, one of them, if not both of them, off. I think we'll take Mount off. Bring Bentancur on, and he'll be a ball winner. And he'll do that job just fine. And if we need to bring Szoboszlai off, Quentin Timber, I think, can do the job there, no problem at all. And then for my final trick, Ratcliffe hasn't had a bad game, but we will bring him off. And I'm going to bring Van Eijden on and just see whether Van Eijden, I'm going to keep saying his name wrong, can do a job for us. I'm sure he can do something. But I would be happy if this ended 3-0. But we do have a free kick on the edge of the box here. It's Szoboszlai, actually, with the ball at his feet. He's going to stick it top bins, nearly. And Van Eijden tried to get on the end there. Remember, he's 6'6", don't you know? Big lad of a player, very much excited to see what he can do for us. If we can find a younger version of him, kind of like the guy who went to Spurs, but I'm still bitter about that, then I'd be very, very happy. But that guy who went to Spurs was literally Van Eijden, only much younger. Right, it's final substitute o'clock. Bentancur's not having a great game since he's come on, but we'll leave him on. Same with Van Eijden. I'm going to take Reece James off. Ed Milson can come on for the last few minutes, and I think we'll bring Timber on for Szoboszlai. And I don't really know which way around I want these guys, to be honest with you. Bentancur, what can you do? Ball winner. Carolero, you're very much a defensive-minded player, sir. Very much a defensive-minded player. Quentin, what can you do? You like to playmate, do you? Well, okay. Let's swap you 2 rounds. Let's have you be a deep line playmaker on support. Let's do it that way. Bit more defensive in the midfield, but it's all good. All fine. Right, let's see the game out, boys. That is the midfield that hopefully will see the game out. It is a very defensive midfielder, I'm aware. This is where having Lewis Murray on the bench would help, because he's an attacking option. We've also got a kid who is a Chelsea homegrown lad, who would have been a good one as well. A late throw in here for Brentford. If we concede a late goal, I will be furious. Furious, I tell you. But we didn't end up conceding it because Liam Delap is offside. Right, Antonio Silva now. Time is up. Waste as much time as you want, Antonio. Eat the yellow card. I don't mind. Right, Bentancur to Timber. It's a matter of time, just waiting for the whistle to go, and there it is. And we end the episode with a clean sheet. You know I love me some clean sheets. And Dimitri with the 7.6 doing a great job there. But the star of the match, I think, has to be... Well, to be fair, actually, he's not far off of it, but it's Pinamonti with his goal and assist. I nearly didn't say anything to the boys. That would have been disastrous. But That will do plenty, and that gets us still within a point of Spurs. I didn't really talk about the table too much, but that's how we're doing. I do want to quickly, before we go as well, run through how the other teams are doing, how the ones that we left, or how the one that we left last season is doing, also how the ones we left before that are doing now, and also from the end of last season. In fact, let's do that now. So Southampton, I mean, you probably already saw it there. Currently 7th, 6 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. Current manager, Pep Guardiola. All right. Captain is Orlando. Vice captain Diego Tapia. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure that's exactly the route I would have gone down, but that's absolutely fine. Romeo Lavia stripped of the captaincy, it seems. Hasn't even been a regular fixture in the team this season. Makes me wonder whether they'd be open to selling him. I do wonder, but I mean, you see the quality of these players compared to ours. Jimenez is 4-star going on 4.5. Guardian 3.5 going on 5. Vinstra is a guaranteed 4-star player. Veloso is unknown, but look at the value he's got. Tapia still 3-star. Lethan still 3-star. We've got the 5-star potential. Has Lethan got an England cap yet? No, it's a crime. It's an absolute crime. But there's some absolute talent in this team. We know how they did, but in terms of how they're currently doing, that's tactics due, not schedule. In terms of how they're doing this season, this is it. They've only lost 2 games themselves. One against Brentford, who we've just beat, and one against us. So, but they also have Champions League to contend with. Looks like they're doing okay in that. How the devil are Tranmere doing? Let's have a look and see how these lads are getting on. Matt Gill is the manager. Aguero, I don't know who he is. Harry Pickering, I don't know who he is. So I think we're finally getting to the point where these players are not going to resemble the team that we had. Jake O'Brien's still there, though, which is interesting. Anyone else? I mean, I remember we were thinking about Philogene Bidace at one point. Cameron Archer's joined them. Matty Pollock's still there, actually, which is interesting to see. Same as Jamie Shackleton. Zidane Iqbal has joined them. Marcus Dewhurst has joined them. Luis Kumas still there, but he's asked to leave. Amari Benjamin is still there somehow, which is very interesting. Okay, so that's that. In terms of how they've been doing in the last couple of seasons, let's have a look at the league. Domestic league. So they're still in the championship. So we left them this season. So 16th, 17th, 17th. They finished 17th last season. This season so far not going well. They're currently 19th in the championship, which is not quite relegation territory. They're not in the relegation zone. Good on you, boys. Nice. I'm quite happy with that. Right, how about little old Dartford? I really would love them to get promoted back to the Football League on their own. Something tells me it's not happened. It definitely hasn't. So we obviously left them this season. 6th for a couple of years, had an awful season there. 7th, 4th, got into the playoffs. 6th there as well. Currently 10th in the National League. So they are currently there. So they're not having the best season at the moment. I mean, I doubt any of our lads are still going to be there at a non-league team. Let's have a quick flick through and see if we can remember any of them. I mean, lone players obviously aren't going to be. Dave Thomas and Liam Dunn weren't there. No, I'm pretty sure. Ian Tipple there. That's quite interesting. Murray Kellyman wasn't there. Ethan Wassell is still there. My man, Ethan. Oh, that makes me happy. Oh, that makes me very happy that he's still there. I mean, full disclosure, I'm not going to discuss my finances with you, but if his value is between £500,000 and £500 and £3,000, I could personally afford to buy him. But he's the only one who's jumped out at me that I recognised. Evan Humphreys might have been there. Don't think he was though, so I think it's just him. That makes me happy though. And also, we should really check on Sam Barnes, who's at Burnley. How's he doing? 3 starts, 3 sub appearances. He's got a 7 rating, doing very well for himself. That also makes me quite happy. But that is going to do it for today's video. Let's have a quick look at the Premier League table just to remind you of everything. So, currently second by 1 point. In terms of goals scored, Haaland is on 10. Pinamont is on 7, not far behind. Ratcliffe is on 5 as well. And then Skinner also on 5. So all the strikers doing decent work, actually. And remember, Ratcliffe mainly helps due to getting 3 in one game. But also, Roderick Felicia, this is the guy I was on about. I really do wish 6'6", passing's good, flair's good. He is the Van Eyden replacement, but we couldn't get him. So it's going to be frustrating because we're not going to touch him now unless we move to a bigger club and his value drops down because he looks sensational. So that makes me sad that we're not going to get to use him most likely. But in terms of average rating, Pinamonti's second in the league. Also top with assists. Who thought we would have seen that 4 seasons ago? But Dimitri's still on the list of clean sheets. He's now joint second as Ramsdale has conceded a goal with Carnesecchi at Spurs. So, in terms of when we are going to be back, let's have a look. I think... Do we come back for the EFL Cup quarter-final against Birmingham? I think we should. Let's do that. If we come back for them and then come back for one of the games surrounding them, and afterwards we can do our usual transfer window game as well. But that's going to do it for today. So until then, thank you for watching. Do not forget to leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed. And also, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the content coming up. It's free to do so, and it makes me feel very, very happy. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.